They called him the voice of Earth. Ambassador Elias Thorne was tall, calm, and always spoke with care. He believed in peace, in understanding, and in the hope that one day, every species in the galaxy could work together. After many years, Earth had finally earned a place at the Galactic Council. It was a proud moment for humanity, and Elias had been chosen to speak on behalf of all humans. The council meeting was held on Zarvek Prime, a shining city of glass towers and floating ships. Billions were watching live across the stars. It was a historic day. As Elias stepped into the grand hall of the council, cameras floated around him. Alien races of all shapes and colors sat in curved seats, their many eyes, scales, or metal faces watching closely. Some looked curious, some looked nervous, and some, just a few, looked angry. Elias took a breath. His voice was steady, warm. Today, we begin a new chapter. Earth does not come with warships. We come with open hands. We come with knowledge and the desire to learn. We come not as rulers, but as friends. There was quiet for a moment. Some beings nodded, others simply watched. Elias continued. We understand fear. We understand history. But we also understand that peace is a choice. And humanity has chosen peace. Then it happened. A low buzzing sound filled the hall. Everyone looked around. One of the floating cameras began to spark. Then in a flash of light and sound, something small but deadly shot from the ceiling. The blast hit Elias directly in the chest. He staggered. Blood poured down his front. His eyes went wide, not with fear but with confusion. He fell to his knees. The entire hall froze. Gasps, screams, panic. Guards ran in, but too late. The camera that had fired the shot fell to the ground, smoking. Its circuits were fried, self-destructed. Elias looked up. The broadcast was still live. His mouth moved, slowly. We came in peace. Then he collapsed. The feed cut out. The news spread fast. Within minutes, every screen on Earth showed the same message. Ambassador Elias Thorne assassinated on Zarvek Prime. People on Earth were shocked. Some cried, others shouted. Riots started in major cities. People demanded answers. The Galactic Council called it a tragic accident. They said the camera had been hacked by unknown forces. They promised an investigation. But no one on Earth believed them. In a hidden base under the Atlantic Ocean, Admiral Kara Voss stood before a room full of military leaders. Her face was stone. Her voice was sharp. This was not an accident. It was an attack. A message. They wanted to show us our place. The generals nodded. We waited. We trusted them. Elias believed in peace, and they shot him in front of the galaxy. One of the officers asked, "Do we go to war?" Voss didn't answer right away. She turned to the wall behind her. A large screen showed Elias's last speech, paused on the moment he fell. "We don't fire the first shot," she said, "but we prepare quietly. We make them believe we are still weak, while we build." In the shadows, Earth began to change. Fleets were activated. Old defense programs were restarted. Secret ships left orbit. War plans that had been locked away were opened again. And across the stars, other powers began to move. But one thing no one expected happened a day later. A group of scientists in Earth's signal lab were studying the blood on Elias's robes. One of them, a quiet man named Rayan, noticed something strange. "These lines," he said, pointing to the blood pattern. "It's not random. It's coded." They enhanced the image. It was real. A message had been hidden in the blood. It said only one thing. They knew. Who knew? The Council? A hidden enemy? Another race? The mystery only grew deeper. And far from Earth, on a dark moon orbiting a dying star, a cloaked figure watched the footage of the ambassador's death again and again. "Phase 1 is complete," the figure said softly. "Now let's see if the humans really are as dangerous as they fear." Back on Earth, Admiral Voss received the coded message. She stared at it for a long time, silent. Then she gave a single order. Activate Black Echo. The officer beside her looked shocked. But that's for full war, Voss nodded. This was not just about Elias. This was about sending us a message. She looked at the stars on the screen. The galaxy had just changed forever, and humanity was about to answer. The message hidden in Elias Thorne's blood shocked everyone. It was clear now. Someone had known he would be killed. This was no accident. It was planned. Admiral Kara Voss stood in the war room holding the image of the message on a small screen. The words, "they knew," kept repeating in her mind. Her jaw was tight, her eyes cold. She spoke softly. Find out who. I want every file Elias touched, every call, every movement. He must have known something. The investigation began. A special team was sent to Zarvek Prime. Their names were erased from records. They traveled in a black stealth ship called Ghost Runner. The team leader, Captain Mira Lane, had served with Elias before. She was quiet, but deadly. Her mission was simple: find the truth and stay alive. When the Ghost Runner landed, the team moved like shadows through the back streets of Zarvek Prime. The city looked beautiful from far away. Glowing towers, sky bridges, alien lights. But deep inside, it was full of secrets. They visited the hotel where Elias had stayed. Everything seemed clean, perfect, too perfect. Captain Mira found a hidden panel behind the wall mirror. Inside, there was a small device, broken, but still, blinking. It's a memory stick, she said. They took it back to the ship and decrypted the files. What they found changed everything. There were video logs. Elias had recorded messages before his death. In one, he looked tired, afraid. They warned me, he said in the video. Someone in the council. They told me not to give the speech. They said I was being watched, that there's a plan to keep Earth from growing. Captain Mira's team listened in silence. Another file showed a map, a meeting point marked deep inside the council's archives. One soldier frowned. Why would he go there? Mira's eyes narrowed. Because he found something. The team broke into the lower levels of the council archives. It was dangerous. Guards patrolled the area. Security drones flew through the halls. But the team moved carefully. One by one, they reached the chamber. Inside was a room full of old council records. Some were hundreds of years old. But in the center was a small, locked case. Mira opened it. It held a single page, a peace agreement. The writing was faded, but they could read the names. One was Earth, the other was the Vorax Dominion. A soldier whispered, "The Vorax signed a peace deal with Earth 30 years ago?" Mira nodded slowly. But it was kept secret. There was more. A council note said, "If humans reach council level, cancel the agreement. Remove them if necessary." The team now knew the truth. Elias had found this. He knew the council, or someone inside it, had made a secret deal to destroy Earth if it ever became powerful. Before they could escape, alarms went off. Red lights flashed. Security drones rushed in. Gunfire filled the halls. 2 team members were hit. Mira ordered the rest to fall back. One soldier, Private Kellen, stayed behind to cover them. He held off the drones with his last grenades. Before he died, he sent a final message to the Ghost Runner. His voice was shaky. "Tell Earth, they're building something big. I saw it, a shipyard maybe. Deep space. Council doesn't want peace. They're preparing for war." Then the line went dead. Back on Earth, Admiral Voss received the message. She played it twice. Then once more. Her face turned pale. "They're not just hiding secrets," she said. "They're preparing weapons." She turned to her tech officer. "Scan for hidden construction sites near council sectors. Look for metal fields, high radiation, missing cargo. Anything that smells like war." Across the stars on a moon called Gavro 6, a dark factory hummed with life. Giant machines moved like insects, building massive ships. No lights, no names, no flags. Just silence and metal. A tall figure watched from above, wrapped in a black robe. One eye glowed red. "They found the message," he whispered. "Let them panic. They're too late." And in a hidden corner of Zarvek Prime, an old council member sat alone in the dark. She whispered into a communicator. "Elias was right. But I couldn't stop it. The plan is bigger than all of us." A voice answered coldly. "Then stay silent or die next." The game had begun, and Earth was no longer playing defense. Dr. Lena Ray had never left Earth before. She was a scientist, not a spy. But now she was being sent into the heart of the Galactic Council, not to study stars, but to find secrets. She wore a new name, a new face. Her records were changed. To the Council, she was just another researcher from a quiet world. But in truth, she worked for Admiral Voss. Her mission: find out who betrayed Ambassador Elias Thorne and stop the plan before it destroyed Earth. Lena arrived on Zarvek Prime under the name Dr. Lyra Tanis. Her job gave her access to the Council archives, where information from every planet was stored. The halls were silent, cold, filled with glowing screens and whispering machines. Cameras watched her every move. She smiled politely, asked questions, and acted normal. But every night she searched. She looked into Elias's last meetings, his travel logs, and the secret peace deal with the Vorax Dominion. What she found made her hands shake. 30 years ago, a council group had signed a secret plan, Project Quiet Dawn. Its goal was simple. If humanity ever rose too fast, they would be removed quietly. There were names on the list: council members, Vorax leaders, a few humans too. Betrayal. One night, Lena followed a trail deeper into the restricted archive levels. She found a locked door marked Sector 7 Gamma. The air near it felt wrong. Cold. Heavy. A guard stopped her. Access denied. She smiled and turned back. But she had seen enough. That sector was not listed in the public records. Something was hidden there. Something powerful. Back on Earth, Admiral Voss received Lena's message. She called it clear. Proof. "They're hiding something," Voss told her officers. "Whatever's in 7 Gamma, it's what Elias was afraid of." While Lena continued her search, Voss moved to a bold new idea: alliances. She contacted an old enemy, the Trellian Nomads, a roaming warrior race that once fought Earth in a border war. They were wild, proud, and hard to trust. But they hated the Council even more. Voss met their leader, Kravos Scorn, in secret. He wore a necklace of teeth and armor made from broken ships. "You want my help?" Kravos growled. "Then give me something worth dying for." Voss showed him the documents. Project Quiet Dawn, the plan to erase Earth. Kravos read in silence. Then he laughed, sharp and cold. "They fear you. Good. That means you're strong. Maybe we fight together." Maybe. Back on Zarvek Prime, Lena followed another lead. A message from Elias, hidden in a backup system, mentioned a hidden lab deep below the council tower. She followed the trail. It led her into an old service tunnel, half abandoned and full of dust. At the end was a door sealed with a strange lock. She cracked the code and stepped inside. The lab was dark. Machines hummed quietly. Tanks filled with green fluid lined the walls. Inside the tanks were humans. Not alive. Not dead. Clones. Lena covered her mouth. No. A file on the main console showed data stolen from Earth's genetic banks. It was signed by the Vorax Biological Authority. One file said, "Test subject, Terran Alpha, purpose, behavior control." They weren't just planning to destroy Earth, they were trying to replace it. Before she could escape, a sound echoed in the hallway. Footsteps. She ran, heart pounding. Lights flashed red. Security was on its way. She barely made it back to the surface and sent a message to Voss. "They're making clones of us. In secret. This is bigger than we thought." Admiral Voss read the message, stunned. We thought they feared us. But no. They want to become us. Earth's forces prepared for the worst. War was now a matter of when, not if. The Galactic Council, feeling the pressure, called an emergency meeting. Every species sent a leader. The room was filled with tension. Earth's representative, Commander Jonas Reeve, stood before them. He showed the peace treaty. The Project Quiet Dawn files, the clone lab evidence. This is what you've done to us, he said. You killed our ambassador. You called it peace. But it was always war. The room exploded in arguments. The Vorax denied everything. Others looked shocked, afraid, but one voice spoke calm and clear from the shadows. We told you, said a new figure. No one knew him. He stepped into the light. Tall, pale, with silver eyes. You think you found the truth, he said. But you've only scratched the surface. He raised a device. The lights in the chamber flickered. Then the ground shook. Massive explosion tore through the council building. The room collapsed into chaos, and a message appeared on every screen in the galaxy. You've all played your games too long. Now we decide the future. The message was signed with a name thought lost for 1,000 years. Vialcor. Humanity was no longer alone in the shadows. Something older, darker, had just entered the war. The edge worlds. They weren't on most maps. No laws, no safety. Only shadows. General Marcus Rain stood at the window of his stealth cruiser. Stars burned in the dark, but none gave comfort. Here the Union had no control, and neither did Earth. He turned to his team. Counselor Draith is hiding here. He gave the final order. Lana's death began with him. We finish it with him. Commander. Risa checked her blaster. If he's smart, he'll be ready. Marcus nodded. Then we'll be smarter. They followed a trail of bribes, broken transmissions, and whispers. Draith had changed his name. Bought a ship. Hired mercenaries. Hid on a planet called Varnak, a red desert world ruled by gangs and silence. It took 2 days to find the right sector. A ship dealer finally spoke, after Earth's AI hacked his data. Draith was living in an underground fortress protected by ex-Union soldiers. Marcus didn't wait. He dropped in with only 5 ghost soldiers. No fleet. No army. Just vengeance. They moved through the burning sands in black armor, low and fast. At night, they reached the fortress. High walls, automated guns, no lights. Inside, Draith sat in a cold room, drinking alone. He watched old news. Threx, screaming, Zurin crying. He knew it was only a matter of time. He didn't think Marcus would come alone. He was wrong. The wall blew open. Marcus walked through the smoke. No words. Just steel in his eyes. Draith stood up slowly. So, you made it. You ran far, Marcus said, but not far enough. Draith raised his hands. You can't kill me. I'm not worth a war. Marcus stepped closer. You already started one. Draith laughed. Lana was naive. She thought peace was possible. She didn't understand the real galaxy. She understood more than you ever did. She was weak. Marcus didn't answer. He stepped forward and pressed a button on his wrist. A small device dropped to the floor. It glowed. What's that? Draith asked. A gift, Marcus said. A live feed. Right now, your face is being broadcast to half the galaxy. Say hello. Draith's eyes widened. No, you can't. You told her she wasn't welcome, that Earth was a threat. You thought killing her would make us quiet. Marcus leaned close. It made us louder. Draith ran for the side door. Too slow. Risa appeared in the shadows and shot him in the leg. He fell screaming. Marcus picked him up by the collar. You don't get to run anymore. Later, the ghost team returned to Earth with Draith in chains. No trial. No speeches. Just truth. His full confession was sent to every Union world. Every lie exposed. Every hidden order revealed. People watched. People listened. And people chose sides. Some Union worlds broke away. Others demanded new leadership. Protests burned across 5-star systems. The Union didn't fall that day, but it cracked, and Earth stood tall. Marcus Rain stood on the platform where Lana's statue now rose into the sky. Thousands gathered below. She believed in peace, he said, but she died in war. He looked up. We didn't start this fight, but we finished it. Not for revenge, for justice. Behind him, ships flew in formation. Not just Earth ships. Others too. Former enemies, now allies. The galaxy had changed because of one voice, because of one death, because of one final message, and humanity was no longer the newcomer. They were the storm. The second hollow star moved through space like a ghost, invisible to radar, shielded by a dark energy field. It passed moons and stations without setting off alarms. Its power core spun faster than light, charging a weapon that could erase Earth with a single pulse. On board, Lord Vial stood tall, silent, staring at the Earth system on his display. We ended here, he said. Their fire dies tonight. Back on Earth, panic had already begun. Satellites were going dark. Communications scrambled. Admiral Caravos stood on the command deck of Earth's last defense station, Sol Bastion, watching every ship scramble into position. Fighters launched. Shield grids activated. Civilian ships were ordered to flee. She knew it wasn't enough. Not against a star killer. Where's Jonas? She asked. A voice answered behind her. Right here. He stepped forward. No longer, just a man. Jonas Reeve now glowed faintly with energy from the ancient weapon. His voice was calm. His body stronger, faster. But his eyes, those were still human. I can stop it, he said, but only from the inside. Voss didn't argue, she only nodded. You'll have help. Kravos is already waiting in orbit, and Lena Ray is flying the fast ship. Then let's go, Jonas said. The team launched in Ghostlight, Earth's stealthiest vessel, fast, silent, armed with ancient tech from Ashkar 12. As they neared the hollow star, they saw it in full. A massive ring glowing with unnatural light, slowly charging. It looked like a moon made of pure death. Jonas felt the weapon inside him pulse. It's ready, he whispered. But I have to get close, right to its core. Vial saw them coming. He smiled. So the hero arrives. He activated defense drones, thousands of them. Ghostlight weaved through them, blasting and dodging. Kravos fought from a gun turret, roaring with every shot. Lena flew like a ghost, pulling sharp turns through impossible gaps. But the ship took damage. The shields dropped. Kravos was hit, badly. Still, he smiled. Keep going, he growled. I'll hold them. He jumped from the ship into space, charging straight into the swarm with two blades glowing, 1 trillion against hundreds, a warrior's death. Lena cried out. We're losing hull. Jonas moved to the drop door. I have to go now. Lena looked at him. If you do this, you don't come back. Jonas smiled softly. Some things are worth it. He leaped from the ship, falling toward the center of the hollow star. Lasers flew around him. Explosions lit the dark. Time seemed to slow. Then, he entered the machine. Inside, it was quiet, bright, beautiful in a terrible way. He saw the core, a swirling sun trapped in a cage, and at its heart, something alive. Vial appeared on the center platform, waiting. You are too late, he said. Even if you strike, the charge will continue. You die, and your world dies after you. Jonas stepped forward. Maybe, but not today. He raised his hand. The weapon inside him awakened fully. A storm of energy flowed through his veins. The core began to crack. Vial rushed forward with a scream. But Jonas didn't fight with fists. He focused all the energy into the core, pouring his own life into it. The ancient weapon answered. It reacted. It exploded. Light filled the machine. Vial screamed as he was torn apart. Outside, the second hollow star shuddered, then collapsed, in on itself. A silent implosion. From Earth, people saw only a flash in the sky. And then, Nothing. Later, Lena Ray returned to Earth alone. The skies were clear. The war was over. The council broke apart, never to return. But Earth survived, and so did hope. At the edge of the solar system, a small probe recorded a strange signal. A heartbeat. Soft. Steady. No one could explain it. But Lena believed it. Jonas wasn't gone. Not fully. Some part of him, maybe the best part, had joined the stars, watching, protecting, waiting, in case the darkness ever returned. Humanity had faced extinction, but they had fought back, and the galaxy would never forget.